Welcome to Focus on Suppliers. I'm Leila Davidson.
And I'm Jared Davis.
And I am super jealous because you got to interview everyone on the show today, and I didn't get to interview anyone.
Well, we were on location recently at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. Now, you've been to the Tech Summit for several years.
I have. I love it. That's why I'm upset that I missed all these great speakers.
Here's what you missed. Because the Tech Summit has been so successful, probably since you've been there and participating, they expanded it this year to include the Women in Technology Conference. So great interviews today.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I heard you got to meet Telly Whitney.
Yes, Telly Whitney is with the Anita Borg Institute. This is a group that really has a passion for not only recruiting women to be part of technology, but retaining that talent. So it's a wonderful mission that they have.
Super important. And then other heavy hitters, not only from inside Northwest Arkansas, but out of the area that we attracted this year. You
are going to get to see an interview with one of the keynote speakers, Mr. Mike Trano, with at&t. He's talking about connectivity and how that's going to pan out into the future of retail.
Well, I'm so excited to learn about all these new things with the viewers. Focus on Suppliers starts now.
Focus on Suppliers, brought to you by 8th and Walton, where suppliers learn fast and grow, and sponsored in part by Saatchi & Saatchi X, Case Stack, and other outstanding companies.
We are here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. I'm very happy to have one of the keynote speakers, Mr. Mike Trano for at&t. Great to have you here, Mike.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Hey, for people who didn't have a chance to listen to your speech, tell us what you summed up in your keynote.
Well, the whole theme really is around connectivity. And so what I talked about was connectivity to a lot of different industries as IoT is transforming those industries. So we talked a little bit about the connected automobile space. We talked a lot about transportation and logistics. We talked about connected drones, smart cities of the future. And so, again, in nearly every industry, connectivity is starting to transform not only our personal life, but our business life.
Now, for suppliers who are watching this, you just hit on a hot topic right now, and that's transportation and logistics. What do you see coming up for 2018 and the years beyond?
Starting with the truck, right? As we move commerce around America, only about 20% of the trucks on the road today are actually connected. And so that's, first of all, how do you track from point A to point B? But I want you to also start to think about the trailer, right? Think about how do we add connectivity to the trailer so we know the location, we know if theft has occurred, we know the inventory levels within that truck, so we might want to put more load onto that truck. Also start to think about the interaction between the machine and the human, right? Driver behavior. Is the driver fatigued? Is the driver distracted, right? All that information, all the way down to the truck, to the person, to the trailer, even the contents within the trailer at the pallet level, all can be connected.
I had a chance to go around and look at some of the booths, and I saw the at&t booth had a little drone technology going on. So what's going on with at&t and drone technology?
There's a lot of testing actually going on with drones right now. So we are looking at the interaction of the drones back to our cellular network. If you think about cellular networks for the most part, the towers are actually pointed toward the ground because that's where the people are. You think about drones up in the air, the towers have to be optimized for drones that are up above our towers. You also start to think about what is the major application use case. A lot of it's going to be video, right? We use drones right now to inspect our cellular towers to make sure that they're operating properly instead of sending a worker up the tower. So that type of information is really going back in from a product management standpoint in terms of how we actually want to manage these drones. The FAA predicts that there'll be 7 million drones in America by 2020. So we have to start to think about how are these drones going to work on the networks, how are they going to interact with other aircraft that might be out there as well, so think about command and control. So there's a lot of work being done.
Mike, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here at the Tech Summit.
Thank you very much.
It is very lively here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. Very lucky to have Ms. Telly Whitney, who was a speaker for the Tech Summit just yesterday as keynote and served on a panel today. She's with the Anita Borg Association. Great to have you here, Telly.
It's great to be here.
Hey, for anyone who didn't get a chance to see you yesterday in your keynote, what are some of the highlights that you covered?
Great. The Anita Borg Institute is very committed to bringing more women to the table of technology. I mean, half the population, you want them to be creating technology. So what I talked about yesterday was how do you advance your women? It's pretty easy to, well, it's you can recruit them, and it's an important aspect, but then women leave at twice the rate of men. And so how do you retain and advance women to help you create the product that's really important for your future?
And you've been very busy since you've been here because, like I mentioned, you were on a panel session today. What were some of the big questions that came out of that panel session you were able to address?
Well, today's panel was great. It was talking about the future of technology, thinking about cybersecurity and how important that is, IoT, and really what is the future of technology. And as part of that, we also talked about the importance of a diverse workforce. That is, you increase your diversity, you increase your innovation.
And Telly, as you're looking, 1 to 5 years down the line, what are you most excited about? You're kind of keeping your eye on as far as technology in this industry.
Well, it's fascinating. I mean, we're increasingly connected, and everything that we buy is becoming a service. I mean, things are delivered. So the difference between retail and delivery is becoming gray. I also am very interested in the work in autonomous cars. I mean, I'm not sure that we're going to be continuing to drive coming forward. And then as a species, we're increasingly connected, and that's helping us with what's going on. I mean, we've got wildfires in California right now, and the technology is helpful there.
We appreciate you connecting with us today. Thank you so much for your time at the summit.
Thank you so much.
Don't miss our new fun podcast, the 8th and Walton Conference Call.
If you've shopped for clothes lately, you've probably noticed big changes in the apparel category. Producing clothes and distributing them online is becoming so easy, new brands are constantly entering the market. And with more competition, companies have to rely on innovation to get ahead. One example of innovation is a new technology which works with your phone to measure your unique dimensions so you get a perfect fit. This personalization makes for a better customer experience and helps manufacturers better manage their inventory. Algorithms can also help measure shoppers' brand interactions and viewing habits to lead to smarter inventory and pricing decisions. Walmart's recent acquisition of Bonobos has removed shopper barriers in a new and noteworthy way, offering improved digital shopping along with a brick-and-mortar experience. So try this on for size. The innovative technologies emerging in a highly competitive apparel market provide plenty of learnings that could revolutionize many other categories. How will your brand or company continue to innovate to meet the evolving market needs?
What if you created a town today? What would that town stand for? What matters and what would stand out? And where would you find this new town? Bentonville, Arkansas. Visit Bentonville, a new American town.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
Need help now with OTIF? The clock is ticking and every minute you delay is costly. So contact 8th and Walton OTIF help at 8th and Walton/OTIF now and learn what you need to know about On Time in Full. You'll learn how to navigate the OTIF scorecard, including its nooks and crannies. You'll find root cause insights and you'll learn how to build a solid action plan. Don't wait another minute. Contact 8th and Walton today for help with On Time in Full.
The Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit just got better because I just saw my friend here, Jared Ramsey, is joining us again from Rockfish. Jared, always good to see you, bud.
Oh, it's great to be here and great to run into you guys. This is awesome.
I knew you were going to be here, being the Tech Summit and you being such a guru at Rockfish. So when you look around at all the booths and all the things they're announcing, what are you most excited about?
I tell you what I'm actually excited about. I'm excited about the event as a whole, not just the Tech Summit, but I mean, yesterday we had the women in the women's conference, we had Maker Summit, we had Give Camp that we recently worked towards, and AmpFest. All of this is just combined into one huge several-day event, and it's meant to draw in larger crowds of people and then keep a continuity of technology going throughout the whole event. Personally, I'm looking forward to some of the speakers. I'm looking forward to hearing from Chow from Sam's, Jeremy King opening. I'm looking forward to hearing from those individuals.
You and I have had a chance to talk about technology a few times, talking about virtual reality and artificial intelligence. As you're keeping your eye on the industry 5, 6, 10 years up the line, what are you most interested in learning more about?
It's going to go into two ways. Storytelling. How do you've got all this data, you've got all these things that are collecting data. How does that turn into something that actually relates to a human, that a person like you and I can present? It was mentioned today that so much data is being collected, it's going to surpass human knowledge and processing. How do we start figuring out how to tell that story for people? And then automation that goes with it. I think that automation is going to be a huge disruptor in the next few years, if not now.
One of the things that's kind of a theme here at the Tech Summit, that connectivity. Now, when we talk about connectivity, especially in your business, how's that going to benefit us in the future?
It's going, having the always on and the always being able to collect data about who you are or what's impacting you and how what you're doing can impact this other person or impact me because of what you've learned, and sharings that can go across between what our technology devices that are really tied to us are learning about each other, that can be shared out in terms of society and communities, and then of course industries.
I learn something every time I talk to you, Jared. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being at the Tech Summit.
Good deal. Thank you.
We're having a great time here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. Joining me now, Mr. Greg Tarzinski with Teradata. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, my pleasure to be here.
Greg, I'm excited to ask you about disruption. We hear about disruption, it's a buzzword now, but how is it different today?
I think the industry's really shifted. It used to be that disruption was talked about in terms of industrial disruption, businesses disrupting other businesses. But what we're seeing today is that consumers are really taking the lead. There's so much new technology that consumers have in their pocket, on their devices, and consumers are really changing their behavior rapidly and more quickly than I think we ever expected. One quick example, think about depositing a check at your bank. When was the last time you actually went to the bank teller to write out your check and sign it and deposit it when you could just take a picture on your phone? So these shifts are occurring rapidly, and they're causing a large amount of disruption in the industry. And I think one of the things that we have to think about is, how do we reinvent ourselves to anticipate these changes and build solutions that support those customers? I think back to the left brain, right brain construct we've talked about for years, the logical side, the creative side, and I think it's time to move beyond that. Maybe we need a Renaissance brain construct, because what I'm seeing, especially in Silicon Valley, is that a lot of these innovations are coming from highly technical companies who are also thinking creatively about what customers really want and need and what will delight them. And that's a real big challenge for today.
Right, now you mentioned what customers really want. As you're working with firms and they're looking at evaluating their technology, what do you advise them?
Well, technology is a wonderful thing. I'm kind of a geek at heart. I would love to play with the latest technology. But there's also a trap in that. It could be a little bit seductive and you could get lost in the technology itself, because today's technology roadmap is so complex. And so what we've heard from a lot of our customers are that if IT is spending a lot of time building out new systems, investing in all the new technology, that's great unless it creates silos and roadblocks to business users getting access to the data in order to build new systems, identify new customer trends, and think about how they could create outcomes. So we can use the technology, we just need to be very careful that we're working with business, with end users, and always focusing on what are we looking to achieve and attain that's going to delight our customers. Because if you lose sight of that, then you get lost in the technology, but if you keep your eye on that site, then you could transform your business and keep growing your business as even in the midst of tough competition.
Now, as your clients are trying to better support their customers, how does Teradata step in and help?
So Teradata believes that agile data foundations and advanced analytics are what help companies succeed in the marketplace. So our consulting organization's vision is to work with our clients to help them figure out this complex ecosystem, because Teradata databases are one part of a much larger roadmap of technology that the clients need to bring all this data together. So our consultants will help design those systems, get them working right, and give you the foundation then to build advanced analytics, whether it's the latest in deep learning algorithms or predictive maintenance models or financial transformation. We're there to help build out those models rapidly and get them focused on helping the end user and driving results for our clients.
Greg, we really appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
There is so much to see here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. I didn't get to see it all, but you know who got to see practically everything is my buddy, 8th and Walton's own Chris Kerner. Chris, always great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Jared.
Here's the big question. For any supplier that wasn't able to attend this year, why do you think they should definitely put it on their calendar next time around?
I think because of the world-class roster of speakers, both in the general sessions and the breakout sessions, you're not going to get the kind of insights that we got today anywhere else in a place like this.
You attended a lot of sessions, you went to a lot of booths that were out here in the general area. What really excited you that you're really going to keep your eye on for the next couple of years?
I think the big thing for me is going to be how are the customers interacting with retailers? Mobile, voice, so many options, so many opportunities. It's going to be fun to watch how that interaction happens.
You talked about the key learnings. What's something you came in here and learned and now you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be really something in the next couple of years?
I think from a top line level, one of the key things to me was what is it that the customer needs that they don't know they need yet? What's that going to be in 5 years? A lot of the conversation this week or today was about what was going on 5 years ago that we weren't even thinking about that now we're seeing happen. So that's what I'm excited to see, what will happen 5 years from now.
We appreciate that Cliff Notes version of the summit. Thank you so much, Chris. Always great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jared.
Suppliers, get the latest retail news 24/7 at Walmart News Now.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
Halloween candy sales have grown every year for the past 5 years and are now $2 billion annually. Tapping into that growth requires a deep understanding of the Halloween shopper and their changing path to purchase. For more info, visit iriworldwide.com/insights.
Paul Estel, attorneys at law. With 7 offices nationwide, including Northwest Arkansas, we are a full-service business law firm assisting clients with their corporate, employment, and real estate legal needs. For more information, visit hallestel.com.
Need help now with OTIF? The clock is ticking and every minute you delay is costly. So contact 8th and Walton OTIF Help at 8th and Walton/OTIF now and learn what you need to know about On Time in Full. You'll learn how to navigate the OTIF scorecard, including its nooks and crannies. You'll find root cause insights and you'll learn how to build a solid action plan. Don't wait another minute. Contact 8th and Walton today for help with On Time in Full.
We're very lucky here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit to catch up with Roger Thomas with Telecom. Great to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Are you enjoying the conference so far?
Always do. You know, the people being around here as long as we have, 14 years now from Telecom, and I've been here 20. You know, we're like we're natives. You know, we're natives around Bentonville area, so I know a lot of people here. And anyway, so it's always a great time to come to the Tech Summit.
Well, for the supplier community who's watching right now, if you had to advise them on things they really need to think about when setting up an office or overhauling an office, what's some of the top 3-5 things that you would say you have to consider before you go into that building?
Well, the thing that happens is that they have to get with their corporate headquarters and be connected with their corporate headquarters. So what Telecom does often is that we are the ears, eyes, and hands of their corporate IT department. Because what happens is that their corporate IT does not come down. They send their salespeople down, they send their administration people down, and now with technology, everything is done remotely. You just plug and play. However, things do happen, you know, where something doesn't work right, and we usually get that phone call. So as far as what we would suggest to them, as long as they've got a great relationship and a good responsive corporate IT team, then they should be good. However, when that time comes that they have to have boots in the office, that are IT boots in the office, that's where telecom comes in. We can be their corporate IT team. We can be. It's just that these days, the way that technology is going with everything being remote, the phones being cloud-based, the computers being cloud-based, video conferencing, most of that is brought in from corporate. However, it does need to be set up, and if they don't have it set up, the infrastructure technology of phones and computers and Wi-Fi, that sort of thing, we can do it all, and we can assist them. We can do it all, or we can assist them in doing it.
One of the things we're talking about here at the conference, really a theme, is the connectivity, well, your specialty as a matter of fact. So as you look down the future, what are you most excited about office connectivity and being able to communicate more effectively?
Always up. So what's happening in our business is just never going down, okay? So I've done this for 30 years. We went down. I mean, customers, businesses go down. They go down hard. And when that happens, business stops. That doesn't have to happen anymore. Based on a primary connection, a secondary connection. For example, you might have fiber into your building. You might have coax into your building, and you might have a Wi-Fi card also that's in a box somewhere into your building, so that if one of those connectivity options fail, you're still up. So I would, and business keeps going. And as you and I and everybody in Northwest Arkansas knows, Walmart needs to be up. The suppliers of Walmart need to be up, never down, because as long as they are up, we are up, we are so competitive from a business perspective, not just regionally and nationally, but internationally as well.
Roger, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being at the conference.
Thanks so much, Jared.
There's so many great sessions happening here at the Northwest Arkansas Tech Summit. One of the session presenters is joining us now, Ms. Dana Klessen. So great to have you here, Dana.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Hey, I want to ask you particularly about the session you're doing this afternoon. You've done so much research on the great things coming out of the internet. What is some of that research showing you?
Well, what I've been looking at is the positive use of the internet, interdependence, and the way that that's impacting our myths. So a lot of times we hear a lot of conversation about the negative things like cyberbully, cybercrime, cyber stalking, cyber terror, cyber war. But in fact, we have way more good things going on online and with the internet. And so what I look at is, for example, digital altruism, the use of the internet for altruistic aims, and more recently I've been investigating the heroic use of the internet. And that what I've found out is we have birthed a new archetype that's called the cyber hero archetype, and the cyber hero uses technology to help other people, animals, or the environment. And then my latest research is on what we call collaborative heroism, and collaborative heroism is what you would think about as online activity blended with real world activity, but they're not as separate as we think they might be, because in fact, when we're in the real world these days, we're in the cloud and we have our smartphones with us. So when people are marching, for example, for climate change or something like that, they also are sharing on social media, and they're far more likely to recruit people to join them and to share messages than non-social media users. And so bringing these together, these two worlds together, is what I'm looking at right now.
I was very excited to talk to you because I love gaming and I love it when we make learning fun. And I know you've got a great project going on now called Cyber Hero. Tell us about Cyber Hero.
Well, Cyber Hero League is it's a new gaming adventure that we hope to turn into sort of like the Whole Foods for toys for kids for the 21st century. And what I mean by that is it's a social responsible enterprise, or a social enterprise. So it's an enterprise for good. And when children play with either the online game, the app, or any of the physical toys, they'll be actually helping to tackle global challenges. We've partnered with the United Nations to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 goals, and those last through the year 2030. It's a collective worldwide effort to tackle major issues like hunger, water, providing water, energy, clean energy, and things like this. And so as players play the game, they'll be contributing to the nonprofit organizations and then making this change happen.
We look forward to that. Look forward to your session too. Thank you so much for your time, Dana.
Thank you.
We talk a lot on this show about getting your product to the customer, but equally important is protecting your product from theft. And here to take a deep dive into that is Chief Customer Officer for Tyco Retail Solutions, Mr. Tony D'Onofrio. Great to see you again, sir.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here with you.
Always pleasure to have you here. When I was on the Tyco website, I actually saw the phrase integrated security solutions. What does integrated security mean?
Well, integrated is a very simple term. Really what it means is that we're taking multiple layers of technology and making them work together in an integrated system. If you look at the industry where it's evolving, there's a new concept called the Internet of Things that's getting a lot of buzzword. It's really an extension of that. It's taking devices, connecting them, and by connecting them, actually making them smarter in terms of the value that they deliver to a retailer, in terms of, for example, an EAS system speaking to a video system, and an intruder system. All these technologies, when you add them all together, bring you stronger value and stronger deterrence. And when it comes to crime, it actually attack the crime better.
Now, you touched on that, but as far as the other trends that you're seeing in security for your business, what are other things that we're seeing?
Well, there are a couple. One is, of course, the Internet of Things. We're seeing, again, all devices being connected and the store itself getting a lot more censored. But data analytics is really expanding dramatically around the world. Those sensors are generating data, and as those sensors generate data, they get analyzed. And there's an evolution taking place today from the data analytics now moving into predictive analytics.
You touch on customer experience. So we've got customers that are shopping in the brick and mortar stores. We have more and more customers shopping online. What is that link between great customer service, that customer experience, and then the level of security?
It's a balance. And I do think from really the focus should always be on the consumer and the shopper and getting to that right balance for the store and also for the online products coming into the store to make sure that you actually balance how you protect the store and actually not detract from the shopping experience. We have seen examples where you go too much in the security. Too much security can actually prevent sales and decrease sales. So you want to get to the right balance of optimizing your technologies. Integration, for example, being a perfect example that we just talked about. When you do those types of things and you get to the right balance, then you're optimized.
One of the things we talk about is delivery itself, a big vulnerable part for theft, whether it's delivery to a store or now ordering something off the internet and having it delivered to the home. What are those security steps that we can take to prevent theft at the point of delivery?
So there's, again, all kinds of technologies that can be applied. The video is a good example of that gets applied. There's also new solutions that we've deployed, such as unattended delivery, to facilitate the actual delivery process after hours to make sure that you're not actually taking time out of the backdoor process from the sales activities that are going on the floor. So video technologies, access control, GPS, video analytics, all those are new solutions that are getting applied to actually improve the entire process.
And for any supplier out there, Tony, top of mind, what do they always need to remember when thinking about security?
That it's a partnership. It's not an us and them. Security is there to make sure that the stores are protected, that sales actually go up as the stores are protected, that the consumer has a seamless buying experience when they walk into the store. They actually enjoy the shopping experience. And for the supplier, that means having the products on the shelf at the right time for that consumer to buy.
All right, Tony, always great to see you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Connect with us online. Follow 8th & Walton on Facebook. Need help now with OTIF? The clock is ticking, and every minute you delay is costly. So contact 8th & Walton OTIF help at 8th & Walton/OTIF now and learn what you need to know about On Time in Full. You'll learn how to navigate the OTIF scorecard, including its nooks and crannies. You'll find root cause insights, and you'll learn how to build a solid action plan. Don't wait another minute. Contact 8th & Walton today for help with On Time in Full.
Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product launches there.
All right, Miss Leela, did you enjoy the show?
I learned a lot.
Okay, I would love to pick your brain for a second.
Okay.
When you hear the phrase Internet of Things, which came up a lot at the Tech Summit, what does that mean in your business?
Well, to me, it just means that any object can be connected to the internet and then therefore can transmit data and that people can make decisions on or get smarter about.
Well, I know you work with a lot of suppliers, and when I was in retail, I remember one of the biggest issues was zero sales and trying to track execution once like a display arrived at the store. Now, do you see that going on with suppliers now and how this connectivity is going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. We can track with sensors when a display, a promotional item is, when it arrives at the store, when it gets out onto the floor, we can know where it has been executed in the store. So that's very important information for suppliers to understand what's working and maybe what we want to divert funds from.
It's always interesting to find out how we're becoming more connected in the connectivity.
Absolutely.
So we will connect with you next week. Focus on Suppliers.